You're listening to episode number 371 of the 360 Vegas podcast. Check out the blog at 360vegaspodcast.com or send us an email at 360vegaspodcast@gmail.com. You can support the show financially when you shop at Amazon and Vegas.com. Simply go to the blog, click on the corresponding banner, and go about your shopping. It's that easy to give us money without giving us money. Also, get early and sometimes exclusive access to all things 360 Vegas with a $7 per month subscription to Patreon. That's patreon.com/360Vegas.
Day after tomorrow, gentlemen, we'll be in Las Vegas.
Welcome to Vegas.
Las Vegas functions on a 24-hour-a-day schedule.
The pools, the casino.
Big volcano out in front.
That's the Eiffel Tower.
Bellagio.
Riviera.
The Mirage.
Flamingo. Sahara.
The MGM Grand.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
I want to gamble.
They always put the machines that pay off the most right in the front.
Good luck.
The Strip is just the most amazing stretch of road, I think, probably anywhere in the world.
Kicking ass in Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
You guys got to stop with this text thing.
I'm done. I had to just send one last one. Why didn't you mute your phone?
What do you mean? It's not my phone doing it. It's my computer doing it.
Oh, your Mac is doing it.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm done. No more text during the podcast.
Yeah.
Especially not to the group that's talking.
Right.
It seems kind of silly.
Can't hide it. Exactly. Can't hide it from him. He's a part of the text conversation.
But Mrs. Tony is in the text conversation, and she's not on the on our conversation live. So I wanted to, include her.
Sure. Hey, listen, so 360 Vegas, a la 360 Vegas Vacation Tony, got a bit of a cameo in this week's Tim Lawson podcast, A Better Life, because he asked us what's one thing that we would recommend to a newbie Vegas goer.
Yeah.
And my bit of advice was, because I figured people were going to be like, make sure to check out the fountains of Bellagio, see the volcano erupt in front of Mirage. Like, I wanted to do a little something different. And so I wanted to share with you guys, more so Mark than Karen, but Karen, I still want to get your thoughts on this. Okay. My little 90-second segment that I provided was, I thought there was great value for those who might be cigar smokers or at least want to be cigar smokers while in Vegas. I recommended the Davidoff Lounge outside of the Fashion Show Mall across the street from Wynn, as well as the Monte Cristo cigar bar at Caesar's Palace, because you can get some quality comped cocktails there. And I just wondered what, especially if you're trying to advise the Vegas newbie of things that maybe can wait until your second or your third trip to Vegas. Like, what's something that you guys think somebody really should do on their truly first trip to Las Vegas?
Go to downtown.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's something that I'm surprised that people have. Like, my parents have been to Vegas, but they didn't go downtown.
They haven't?
No, they haven't been downtown before.
Put that on the itinerary.
And there's a lot of people that I've seen that you guys got to stop.
That might be coming from my wife now.
Yeah.
She didn't hear your "you have to stop" thing. Text back to the group right now and say, "Stop while we're recording."
I don't think she wants that. I will text her. Please continue, Mark. Your parents.
Never been to downtown.
Oh, and it just surprises me that how often people come to Vegas and don't make it to downtown.
I think that when they think of Vegas, they don't necessarily think of downtown, which is too bad, because downtown is a whole nother type of Vegas. So I think it's fun to compare and contrast between the Strip and downtown.
Yeah.
I mean, I do agree that downtown is something people should see. I don't, first trip, I don't know. It definitely wasn't on my first trip or my second, I don't think. But I don't know. Now I'm trying to think of, again, you guys put me on the spot like this. I'm like, what's the one thing you should do?
Right.
Find a really good restaurant and splurge and go eat someplace. That's but again, I'm a foodie, so that's on my must-do list. But I always, no matter where I go, I use Yelp to find fun places to try and eat. So, but yeah, food is always a motivating factor for me.
that's how I got my wife to go to Vegas. She had literally zero interest. And I know I've talked about this on the podcast before, but gentlemen, listen up. If you can't seem to get your significant other to have an interest in Vegas, maybe go on the foodie route is the way to go. My wife was so excited about getting to eat at Mario Batali and Bobby Flay and, just the people that she would watch on the Food Network and to be able to eat at their restaurants. That was how I got her to want to come out with me for her very first time to Vegas. So play to what your significant other's interests are. I guarantee you, and that would have been that might have been the best bit of advice that I gave. But again, that's to people who know Vegas, right? Like I think about Mississippi Rob, or I think about Tim Lawson, like people who kind of sort of may have to cajole their spouses to come with them. I'm like, you know what? You got to play to their interests.
Well, and Chris Moore's wife was the same way. She had no interest in, every time Chris wanted to go to Vegas, she was like, ugh, again. And, we've now converted her as well.
Absolutely.
But no, I agree with that, because for the longest time, I never wanted to go back to Vegas. And Mark figured out how to convince me, which is by saying, okay, so she needs a spa day, she needs a pool day, and she wants at least one really good meal. And he always made sure that was baked into the vacations, and it worked.
Absolutely. Then it becomes truly a vacation for each partner, in that couple.
Right.
Mark, I apologize. I may have sidetracked your conversation. Did you have any thoughts about before we started the show?
No.
All right. Well, then let's start the show. He's Mark. She's Karen. I'm Tony. And as always, we start with Random Vegas.
MGM Resorts employs an estimated 35,000 employees worldwide, less than half the number employed before the pandemic.
Wow.
I know, that's fucked up.
It's crazy. Wow. Yeah, those are all those efficiencies they were talking about.
Well, that's MGM.
Yeah.
I thought, are you talking about Caesars?
No, both of them.
Oh, yeah.
I have a friend that works at MGM corporate, and she was, talking about the number of people that they've laid off and then tried to find, and we've seen it on the casino floors even. With them going to more digital gaming,
right?
Where you don't need the dealers and all that fun stuff. It's,
I think we're gonna have to start getting used to roll to win craps.
Ugh.
Yes, unless you want to play $25 craps.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Yeah. I suppose I should give it a try before I knock it.
Hopefully, future iterations will fix the screen so it's more felt like. But I think we need to embrace that we at least still have the ability to throw the dice. It could have been worse. It could be like the bubble craps or something where
push the button.
I know, right?
God, I hate that.
All joking aside, don't give them any ideas, because I could very much see a scenario, gang, where you have a full-size craps table with a bubble over it, like it's that one of that. What was that game that we used to play as a kid where you popped the little popple? I think is what it was called.
Trouble.
And that's what it's going to be. You press down on it, and the whole giant dice, they fill up the length of the tub of a craps table. We better be careful what ideas we give the casinos.
Right.
Who knows at this point?
Next up, let's talk about the Twit Pick of the Week.
Shining lights, glowing neon, flashing bulbs bathed in magic. Welcome to Fremont Street pre-canopy and post many, many drinks. That special time when you're in that sweet spot, loving life and enjoying the only in Vegas scenery of your happy place. @Loss_Wen coined it Fremont Street glare. We call it mesmerizing.
I don't know if it's glare so much as a blur. When you start seeing the fuzzies on the sides, and you're like, oh, wait a minute.
I love it. God, I love it. I love that image. And let me tell you why I personally would have picked this to be the Twit Pick of the Week, if assigned that responsibility. And I've said it for the same reason I would pick it before. This is what my eyesight sees at a certain level in the night after just copious amounts of, and let's be real honest, crappy well-drink rum, right? Like, I know I'm saying I want a Bacardi diet. They're not bringing me Bacardi.
No.
They're bringing me Bicado rum at that point, right? And I can't tell the difference, so who cares? But the problem is,
you usually feel it the next day.
Right, yeah.
The next day you care.
Yes. When poor Norma and Joey Gibson are nursing me back to life at the Canopy or
the Cosmo Cabana,
Cosmopolitan Cabana pool. But this is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and I still love the H's in the horseshoe Binions sign. I just dig that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it for that conversation. As always, we will link the photo on our blog. We'll feature on all of our social media outlets, such as Flickr, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Let's get back into the news. So, dear listeners, I'm not drunk. Worst part, I actually worked out, so I've got endorphins. So my apologies if I'm all over the place.
He's a little energetic right now.
Let's talk about a thing that actually does kill the endorphin.
Right.
Masks are back.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, how is he going to transition this into something happy? Mandatory masks for all people indoors, including those vaccinated, goes into effect today at midnight. Or no, it was Thursday, wasn't it?
Well, it was 12:01 Friday morning.
Right.
Yeah.
The change comes as reported cases of COVID continue to rise in Las Vegas. No word how long the new mandate will last. Nevada's test positive rate currently resides at 13.7, while Clark County increased to 14.9. It said the pandemic has become a, quote, pandemic of the unvaccinated, as nearly all patients in Nevada hospitals are reported as unvaccinated. In an attempt to encourage more vaccinations, MGM Resorts is requiring all employees to provide proof of vaccination or pay $15 per week for weekly mandatory tests. Those who test positive will be notified that they must quarantine, and if the employee isn't fully vaccinated, they will not be paid during their time in quarantine. Caesars Entertainment experienced the impact of the new mandate when they received a 42% spike in cancellations, the highest since December of 2020. Wow. That said, weekends for the foreseeable future are forecasted to be at full occupancy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That cancellation number at Caesars is mind-boggling.
I don't blame them. I mean, it's I keep saying this. We're tired of dealing with COVID. Like, just fine. What do we have to do to get this done?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it depends on your mindset when you're going into this. If you were looking forward to a regular Vegas-type vacation where you didn't have to wear a mask, and because you're vaccinated and can walk around and do everything, yes, this is going to be very disappointing. The other mindset you can kind of have to this is, okay, fine, the numbers are going back up. I get it. Okay, as long as
unvaccinated dying, what is the point? Why does everybody else?
Because what they're saying now is with this new Delta variant, even people that have been vaccinated can get it.
Okay, but the people who care about that got their vaccination. Like, it feels like we're just being punished. They're going, listen, when we said,
they're trying to protect the unvaccinated people that are too stubborn or maybe for a medical reason can't get the vaccine, and so they're trying to protect those people.
The vast majority of this number is just stupid.
I'm not going to say that, but there's a lot of people that for whatever reason refuse to get the vaccine. They're the ones that are getting sick. Now, unfortunately, even some of the people that are vaccinated are helping to transmit it, because if you're vaccinated and you do catch it, you're less likely to be symptomatic, but you can still pass it along, which is why they're putting the mask back on the vaccinated people. So the whole thing is just, I heard somebody today say, we thought that we were starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
And now it's starting to feel like, oh shit, that's not a light, that's a train.
Right.
So it's frustrating, absolutely. And I guess then you have to kind of sit back and think, all right, how is this going to affect what I want to do on a regular basis? So, we have concerts tickets coming up in about a month and a half.
Yeah.
Are we still going to go if the mask mandate is still in place and we're going to have to wear a mask during the whole concert?
Right.
It's stuff like that. You got to, we can still go to the concert. And as long as, honestly, in my mind, as long as they don't cut back the occupancy, I'm okay with wearing a mask. Because they cut back the occupancy, and that's a whole other issue.
I'm just annoyed that it's like, I got the damn shot. I did what I was supposed to fucking do. Now, when do I get to just live normal life again? I thought like we were getting close to the end, too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did. And unfortunately, the numbers aren't proving that.
Yeah.
Then next up, Game Day Express.
To help address the parking situation professional sports have created in Las Vegas, the Regional Transportation Commission has partnered with the Las Vegas Raiders to create the Game Day Express. Beginning August 14th and continuing through the end of the regular season, these routes will take riders directly to and from the stadium and only cost $4 round trip. They will have 5 pickup locations. They are Red Rock, Green Valley Ranch, Santa Fe Station, Boulder Station, and M Resort. This service is also offered for Vegas Golden Knights games. That's awesome.
It's ingenious.
It's interesting though that most of those locations are stations properties.
Right, all but M.
All but M.
Yeah.
Which I find very interesting. But I mean, you think about it though, the ride from from Red Rock to the Raiders Stadium, I mean, that's going to take you a good, with no traffic, 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. I would think you'd have to build in a good 45 to an hour, considering the amount of traffic based on recent events that they've held there, to try to actually get to the stadium.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah.
But you could also look at it from stations as saying, all right, all these people are coming into town for these events. Let's get them to stay with me.
Well, and that's why I wanted to report it is, you know, you're already coming into town. You're paying a whole lot of money to go to these games, you know, for tickets. You know, you can stay at Green Valley Ranch or Red Rock. Or
there was somebody on Twitter the other day that reached out to, I think, Vital Vegas and Las Vegas locally. And he's like, hey, I might have mentioned this last week. I can't find any rooms at MGM on this particular day, and Caesars rates are through the roof. What's going on? It was because it was the night before a Raiders game.
Right, of course.
So if you're looking for
Saturdays
something,
are going to be if you thought they were astronomical before, they're going to be through the roof now
on home games. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. So I mean, there's an alternative now if you want to, and I don't know how well they're going to advertise this, but hey, come if you want to gamble. Come stay at one of our local properties. Not only A, are the table limits going to be better, B, at least Green Valley and Red Rock are attached to like a downtown mall entertainment shopping kind of district, so you've got other things to do. And C, it only costs you $4, which, parking I think is like 25 to 50 or something. So there's a lot of advantages to that, and it could be a very different sort of vacation for you.
Yeah.
I am reticent to even ask this sports ball question, but many of our friends, our 360 Vegas friends who live in the greater Chicagoland area, were losing their ever-loving minds over the Cubs today. What was going on that everybody was posting RIP Cubs? Any ideas? Any insights?
No, I don't know.
We don't follow that particular type of sports ball.
I gotcha.
I think
cool. Welcome to my world.
I think just though, based on the headlines, the short of it is they were trading away a lot of their key players. And so when you do that, they're going into a rebuilding period or something. And so that usually means they're going to suck for a couple years.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's what it was.
And that is the only answer I need to know. No need for anybody else to chime in on Twitter.
Unless I was absolutely wrong, but I don't think I am.
Holy shit. So people came out of the woodwork when I misnamed the Blue Oyster Club with the Deep Blue something.
Oh, right.
On last week's podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, got it. Listen, this is the best part about, the podcast sphere is if you get something wrong, listeners, they're going to let you know.
Right.
They are not pulling any punches.
Oh, yes.
They will let you know when you done screwed up. Are you guys, did you guys ever watch VH1? It's literally like 1999, 2000, 2001 when they had the television game show Beat the Geeks.
No, I don't think I ever saw that one.
You guys missed it. So very, very briefly, edit it if you're so inclined. Long story short is you had 4 geeks going up against a layman, like say you and me. And what would happen is these geeks had their own category. You had the TV geek, you had the movie geek, you had the music geek, and then you had the one-off geek. It could be the Simpsons geek. It could be the Led Zeppelin geek. It could be the Wes Craven geek, right?
Okay.
And literally it was a trivia game where the layman would go up against these geeks. And I'll tell you what, yeah, as you know, anybody that watches game shows, kind of sits in that proverbial chair of the contestant, and you're going up against, whomever, whatever the game show is. And I used to get my ass slaughtered by the Music Geek. Like, I never knew any of the Music Geek answers.
That doesn't surprise us at all. Given you have a time frame.
Was it on the Golden Girls soundtrack? No, then I don't know.
Was it a crooner? No. Okay, sorry, I'm not.
But
not
I
sure.
used to kill it on the TV Geek questions. So long story short, it does not surprise me that I totally whiffed the ball on the Deep Blue Something versus Blue Oyster Club reference last week. But we should get into prop bets. For those of you unfamiliar, prop bets is an extension of the news, but with just bits and pieces of noteworthy items. First up, the Las Vegas Sun is reporting that Phil Ruffin's Las Vegas Festival grounds on the corner of Sahara and Las Vegas Boulevard on the land formerly known as the original El Rancho is one of the sites being looked at for the development of a baseball stadium should the Oakland A's decide to relocate to Las Vegas. The city of Oakland voted to approve the development for a new stadium last week. However, it's unclear if the vote will be enough to keep the team in Oakland.
Keep them.
I gotta say that would be a sexy place to put a baseball stadium.
That would be. That actually, I like that much better than a lot of the other things that have been thrown out, like the Rio site and all that kind of stuff. This one makes sense.
Yeah.
This one makes a lot of sense.
And that's some pretty expensive real estate that you're taking up, but
yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be a cool place to put one.
But it's interesting. I didn't realize that the city of Oakland voted to approve a new site or a new stadium.
Cleveland voted to approve, and they still lost their team.
No,
so
that's true. Vital Vegas is reporting that the next incarnation of Legends in Concert at Tropicana will have a British invasion theme featuring names like Freddie Mercury, George Michael, and Elton John. No word on when the production will make the change.
I like that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I would go check that out. Cromwell has removed its advertising of favorable table games and replaced it with a Giada's advert.
Ugh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I.e., no more favorable table games.
Right.
Thank you, El Dorado.
Brooklyn Bowl is introducing a new screening software that uses magnetic field sensors as well as AI to look for weapons. Ooh. The technology can screen up to 3,600 people per hour, or otherwise said, one person per second.
Holy shit.
The manufacturer says other Vegas venues and properties are in talks to bring this device to their establishment.
I like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, people can't even walk through that fast. So even if it can screen people that fast,
right?
I mean, you're giving yourself some cushion.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
BattleBots 2021 World Championship will be held at Caesars for select dates started August 23rd through September 4th. Tickets start at $40 and are available via Eventbrite.
Caesars Entertainment is changing out a large number of its table games to be replaced by their electronic counterparts. The most recent count shows a reduction of 92 live tables across 8 properties.
Wow.
I can't believe they lost that many.
No.
Yeah. I mean that's on average about 11 per property. I mean that's just
a little more than 11.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like a whole pit. Like that's basically what they're doing is taking a whole pit and converting it.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. I feel like and it's hard to tell how much of this is an El Dorado problem and how much this is a COVID problem, or maybe how much of it is from column A and a little bit from column B.
Or a profit problem.
I'm hoping that this is just a phase that Vegas is going through, because this is in my opinion, this is actually a really depressing time to see what's happening for tourists that enjoy things in Las Vegas, decent odds. Hell, any real quote unquote real table games that aren't machines.
Right. Well, and that's what I'm concerned is. It almost seems like it's going to get to the point that if you want to actually play a table game, you have to go to the high limit room. That's what it feels like this is moving towards. Because
I don't know, maybe in 40 years, but
I don't. But even, I mean, think about it. With the table minimums at 25 now, you see $100 table on the floor.
Yeah.
That used to be just in the high limit room.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just concerned that's the direction it's going. Like, you have to be a high roller to play an actual table game. Maybe it's not in the high limit room, but even if it's on the floor, like I said, if it's $100 a hand,
Right. Yeah.
ain't many people that can afford to play that.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I just don't know what's happening right now. So we'll move on. Angels and Airwaves released their newest music video, quote, "Losing My Mind," featuring lots of Las Vegas. For those of you interested, we will have a link on the blog to said video.
The song was okay. The video was cool.
I was going to say, I like a couple of songs by Angels and Airwaves, so
Yeah.
I'll have to at least check that out.
Yep. Vital Vegas is...
Hey.
Hey, yo, whoa, you know your place.
You just like trying to write me out of the show?
All right.
Vital Vegas is reporting that the Laurel Lounge at Paris will be converted into another Vanderpump Lounge. The transformation is expected to be complete this winter. Blah.
I know.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Peyote is the newest restaurant lounge to find a home at Ferguson's on Fremont Street. Brought to you by the man behind Disco Pussy, Commonwealth, and Park on Fremont, Peyote is expected to open in late August, early September, and feature dishes like mini shrimp toast topped with wild smoked salmon roe and Carolina Gold rice risotto with grilled corn, sunflower seeds, leeks, and almond milk, to name a few.
Yum. Those both sound delicious.
See, and that's why I put them in there. Like I was like, I feel like I need to describe what's coming. What do they got planned for this?
I appreciate that because it does give you a little bit of insight in sort of what they're going to be doing. I mean, shrimp toast, that right there is a favorite.
Yeah.
And then you add salmon roe on top of it. That sounds delicious. And you can't ever go wrong with risotto.
Yeah.
Especially when it's Carolina Gold rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote a good one.
Thank you.
So that really is what it boiled down to. Finally, Mark. Finally.
Finally, something food related that he got right.
Daniel Ontiveros, formerly of Scotch 80 Prime at Palms, was announced as the executive chef for the highly anticipated Carver Steak, coming soon to Resorts World.
Okay. Another steakhouse to try.
Yeah. I'd try it. I will try it.
The Scotch 80 was yummy.
Yeah.
So that bodes well.
Yeah.
Tiger Sugar, known for its Tiger Stripe brown sugar bubble tea, is coming to Resorts World, specifically in the famous food Street Eats. No word when exactly it will open, as it's officially listed as coming soon. I don't get bubble tea. I don't understand
I don't
it.
either.
Yeah, I mean,
so, but I think I know it is. It's an Asian drink, so I think it fits in very well with their theme.
Yeah.
Which I like their thing. They seem to be relatively consistent with it. They may have like one or two Americana sort of spots, but for the most part, they're sticking with what they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Resorts World just doesn't have anything that's bringing me to it.
Well,
no,
not
that's
you.
not true. It's when Katy Perry's playing, we're gonna go.
We're gonna
there.
go. Yeah.
Like going that's what'll bring me there.
We should get dinner reservations.
Well, yeah.
Beforehand.
Of course.
Okay.
For the fourth straight month, the state of Nevada gaming win exceeded $1 billion, and Clark County itself hit $1 billion for just the third time ever in June. The last time the state showed wins this abundant was just before the Great Recession.
Wow.
Well, when you jack the price up on the table games, it's easier to.
I know, but
rack
we're
up those
paying.
numbers.
It's the problem.
I know we are.
They're making money. They're set like this thing about it is like we're all playing these new higher limits and they're setting new sales records and they're like, why didn't we do this a long time ago?
Yeah.
And we're like, no, it's got to be less. And they're like, fuck you, it does.
We're like, no, wait, pent up demand. And they're like, yeah, and that demand's going to stick around
Right,
too.
exactly.
So here we go.
It's costly.
John Kunkel of 50 Eggs Hospitality, proprietors of multiple restaurants at Venetian Palazzo, including Yardbird and Chica, are opening their first Japanese restaurant at Palazzo named Wakuda, after chef Tetsuya Wakuda.
Nice
The new
pronunciation.
restaurant is expected to take over the space formerly home to Morel's French. Holy shit, that's the part that I trip over.
I know, it's Morels. How did you mess
Fucking
that up?
kidding me with this? Let me try this again. Formerly home to Morel's French Steakhouse and Bistro, and it will open in early 2022. God, he gives me all of these words, and I'm like, I'm going to knock
You
this one
did
out of the ballpark.
great
I'm gonna
on the
handle it,
pronunciation.
Yeah.
and then I can't get the word Morels out of my mouth.
I'm surprised. I guess I don't know, kind of surprised and disappointed that Morels is going. Although I've only eaten there once, and it was good, but it's like such an iconic Venetian Palazzo spot that it just seems sort of sad that it's going. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with it.
I mean, it's French, so it's a little fancier than your taste.
Right.
But yeah, although I don't see you trying the Japanese spot either.
No.
Listen, and Mark, I'll tell you what, buddy. My wife and I have eaten at all of the Bellagio restaurants, and some of them more than once, with the one exception of, and this is what's going to pain you guys to the core, with the exception of Picasso. And the reason why we've never eaten there is because it is a true blue French menu, and look as we might at the menu, there's nothing on there that we think we would get the money's value off from the things that we would order. And the reason why I wonder if perhaps this will pain the two of you to the core is because that is the restaurant that's actually highlighted in Ocean's 11 that is still there today, despite the different renos that they've done, and they don't have that beautiful staircase that Julia Roberts comes down when she gets introduced in the movie. That the Picasso restaurant is still there, and my wife and I were like, no way, we have no interest to eat at a French restaurant. It's just not our jam.
So two things. One, I am not a huge fan of French food either. I find it overly fussy. And sometimes, which is funny because I like fancy food, but French to me just isn't, I don't know. It's not my favorite.
Fussy.
But secondly, Tony, whereas that's the only restaurant you haven't eaten at Bellagio. Mm-hmm. Well, no, I guess there's two. I've only eaten at two restaurants at Bellagio. Being the new Spago location and Mayfair Supper Club, and that's it.
The only thing I've eaten there was at Fix.
Oh, that's right, you did, because you went there when I went to the buffet, right?
Right.
Okay. So I mean, I don't really consider the buffet a restaurant, but I've eaten there. But otherwise, yeah, all the other restaurants that line the lagoon and everything else, nope, haven't been to them.
Oh, you're missing out, Karen. I highly, and I mean highly, as a matter of fact, I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but I'll mention it again. My a buddy of mine, Jeff, you guys know Jeff, he's getting married in October, and so we're my wife and her brother and I are taking Jeff out to Vegas in September, and we're going back to what will end up being, I think, the fourth or fifth time to us, Jasmine at Bellagio.
Oh, okay.
It's a Chinese restaurant. It's a little high end, but we get the Peking duck, and it feeds conservatively 3 people. Realistically, you could do 4 people out of it.
You could probably get 5 out of it if you really wanted to. Yeah,
it's just dynamite. So anyway, food for thought next time you guys are around. That's going to do it for news and prop bets. Let's move into coming attractions. Coming Attractions, brought to you by Vegas.com, is the portion of the show where we share with you acts and artists outside of the usual residencies that will be performing in Vegas in the future. First up is We Came as Romans. It's performing at the 24 Oxford Club at Virgin, Saturday, October 16th. Show starts at 7 p.m. and tickets start at $32.
Little Big Town is performing at the theater at Virgin Friday and Saturday, December 3rd and 4th. Show starts at 8 p.m. Tickets start at $49.
It just doesn't roll off the tongue, the theater.
No, it was much better as the joint.
Yeah. AFI is performing at the theater at Virgin Saturday, February 12th, 2022. Show starts at 8 p.m. Tickets start at $29.
Journey is performing at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace, Saturday, December 18th. Show starts at 8 p.m. Tickets start at $99. And I will tell you what, kids, I think the biggest thing about not living in Vegas for me that I am so jealous for you to be able to do is something like this, where Journey's going to be there. It's one night. It's in your backyard. I mean, shit, it's at the Coliseum. This is something I would absolutely, and I'd probably pay a couple bucks over the starting price of $99 to be able to get to see Journey at the Coliseum in some decent seats. That's cool. That's cool. I'm a big Journey fan.
No. Really?
I know, hard to believe, right?
Bare Naked Ladies are performing on the third stage at the Fremont Street Experience Saturday, October 9th. Show started at 9 p.m. Admission is free. Which stage is the third stage? Is that the one at the end down by the plaza?
D.
Oh, the big one right there by the D.
Third stage, yeah.
I would love to go see them live.
We have seen them live.
Well, I know we have, but I'd love to go see them again. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
My memories are getting fuzzy.
Gotcha.
I mean,
when I live in Vegas and I see all these great acts and artists
And
outside of the
free.
usual residencies.
Yay.
That are on our coming attractions calendar on the blog.
Vince Neil is performing on the 3rd Street stage at the Fremont Street Experience Saturday, November 24th. Show starts at 9 p.m. Admission is free.
And so are all of the chlamydia shots.
Yes.
So
bring your hand
enjoy.
sanitizers and bodysuits and everything else because you're going to need them.
That's right.
You don't want to be at the front of by the stage because you might get that spray, which,
Icky.
Yeah. Ew,
Icky.
ew.
All right, you guys.
Don't forget that you can find links to purchase tickets to these and all the artists that we report on our coming attractions calendar, which is on the blog. Well, holy hell, kids. I guess that's going to do it then for episode number 271. Thank you all for listening and downloading. We really do appreciate it. If you'd like to check out any of the stories.
Actually, it's 371, not 271, although that's what Mark had written in there.
And I'm Ron Burgundy. All right. That's going to do it for episode number 371. Thank you all for listening and downloading. We really do appreciate it. If you'd like to check out any of the stories on today's show, you can do so on the blog, which is 360vegaspodcast.com. You can get premium and exclusive content when you subscribe to our show at patreon.com/360vegas and get 360 Vegas shirts, mugs, and anything else that we can slap a logo on at zazzle.com/360vegas. If you'd like to send some feedback, written or audio, you can do so at 360vegaspodcast@gmail.com.
Tony, where can folks find you?
I'm at 360 Vegas Tony.
What the hell was that?
You're forgetting the conversation from last week. Go ahead. Just wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. Ask me.
Karen.
I am at 360 Vegas. Karen.
What are you idiots doing?
We talked about it last week that I try to, off the air, I try to mimic his delivery on his Twitter handle. That's why. And he's like, oh, you shouldn't have told me because now I'm going to start trying all kinds of crazy things. I knew exactly what you were doing as soon as you said it, Tony.
It's like, oh, I'm going to NPR up this shit all over the place.
I don't know if it was NPR as much as it was, I'm trying to be sexy.
Well, then I definitely crashed and burned.
Well, hopefully I didn't.
Right.
We'll see.
He just told you where you could find me, so until next time.